What's up, guys? Welcome back to the TCG Scrubs podcast. I am Oscar, and I'm with one dude this time, Joey. Joey of Joe's Corner.
Are we gonna do that?
No, I wasn't.
No?
You did it. I always introduce you as Joey or Joe of Joe's Corner. So
I don't know. That's like half.
you took it there on your own. No Colin this week. He's sick. Super sad and sick, and well, I guess not sad. He's just super sick. Maybe he is sad. But he's not feeling.
It's probably pretty sad.
But so just be the two of us. Kind of short podcast. I think some things we wanted to discuss was like cool new spoiler that came out. That's a promo. We'll talk about that in a second. And then near the end, or we're gonna go over speculation of like what we think might do well at the Force Will Festival that Jeremy's running, and then I think speculation to what the next set could entail. I guess that was Colin's idea. I don't know if we'll talk about that too much. And then at the very end, just some Argent Saga stuff that I experienced about a week ago. I went to one of the regionals, so we'll take a look at that as well. But first, shout out to Happy Little Hook Factory for always helping sponsor a lot of the things we do here on the channel, from box openings to some of the gameplay we do. If you guys want to check them out, visit Happy Little Hook Factory in the link in the description below. Click on that link, lets them know that we sent you over. And you can pre-order the next set. I believe it's $50, right? $50, and because they're smaller boxes this time around. And you can pick them up. They've pre-sold quite a few boxes. I think when I was recording the numbers, they were in around 270. Now they're down to like 180, 160, somewhere around there. But you can pick up that as well as the starter decks. Those are available as well. Trying to remember it all. Colin usually chimes in. It kind of helps out.
Check out our Patreon.
Check out Patreon. Patreon.com/TCG Scrubs. Everything that we get help from there helps us upgrade a lot of the stuff on the channel. If you guys haven't seen the news, I know Colin hasn't done the news recently, as he's been, had family in town. Now he's sick and all this other stuff. So it's been really nice. You can go check it out. Look at the Argent Saga news.
Looks pretty tight.
Yeah, look at that one, because that one was actually working proper, and it was actually really good. But yeah, we got all that out of the way.
So the super cool playmat.
What playmat?
Super cool. The magnetic playmat. I don't know. Colin usually does that.
Oh yeah. I don't remember the details on that one. That's why he says
it's super cool. It's from
Play DKP Accessories. Yeah. You guys can check that out.
It's pretty cool.
It is. I only had one issue with the playmat, and it's we're supposed to do a review. We never had a chance to do it. Like everything else, famous last words. It stretches the sleeves because you're putting a magnet in each sleeve, and it's a thin magnet, but it's still enough to stretch that sleeve just enough. And
I feel like that could, you can use like slightly bigger sleeves, because I know you use pretty tight sleeves, right?
I don't know if they're Dragon Shields. I just all I ever use is Dragon Shield. Like I got millions of boxes just everywhere of various colors. I usually go between magenta, mint, and green and blue.
Yeah, I don't know. I know. I used to have I think my sleeves kind of got messed up just from use and stuff. So I mean, it could definitely be bad especially if you're playing like a tournament or something.
Yeah,
I can see that being like marked cards and stuff.
Well, yeah, that thing is more of a fun item. Like you would take it out on the run, type of thing. Like I don't know. Some people have nice weather. So we're in Texas, so it's like a lot of hot weather. We don't really get a lot of nice weather. People, I'm sure, hang out at parks, and you can play at a park or in your car or on a plane.
I definitely do think it is really cool for wind, if wind's blowing, because I know if I've ever tried to play in a park, it's always really bad. And I especially like the whole you can play in the car. Like that's probably like my favorite thing that I could see myself doing with it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted with something that popped up on the side here.
I saw it too.
Yeah, we're recording right now. But so we had a card recently kind of revealed. I believe it was the Italian page that shared it. Based on what it is, I believe it says in the corner, pre-release party. So this is the pre-release promo. So when you go to your pre-release, you usually get a promo for attendance. In this case, it's this card. I have the translation here. I just realized I should probably have it pulled up. Little cool lore about it is the name translated is the the item, on a medical van, ambulance, the symbol they use, the wings and that's that symbol.
Oh yeah.
Which is Greek, or right mythology. Because it said something about somebody held it. I read this and I don't remember.
Yeah. I know what you're talking
Anyways,
about.
this
it says Cadaceus, but I don't think that's the.
That's correct.
I don't think that's the.
No, that's correct. That's it.
And okay, it is an ancient Greek ruins, Herald's wand.
There you
typically
go.
One with two serpents. I always thought it was also a name.
It has another name, the one that's used on the ambulance, but
no, like Cadaceus was somebody's name.
Oh, okay. Anyways, the crazy part is this is a red-white card. It's a Regalia, which is crazy. It has a new a keyword. It's mythic. We don't know what that does yet. There's some speculation on that. We'll talk about that in a second. It has the rest ability, produce 2 wills in any combination of white or red, and spend this will only to play strangers, mages, arts, and activate abilities of 12 protector gods. That was a little rough at the end.
That is not the translation you ended up giving us.
No, it's because the one I gave you guys.
This is the much nicer, newer version.
Well, because the one I gave you guys is when the image was first shared. Everybody was like, "What does it do?" And a few Italian players, based on the name, I'm assuming they're Italian players, came in and gave their translations. They couldn't read the cards completely, so there was a portion where it said "stranger," said "not known," and then the last part said "not known." So this was a full translation. Found it on Twitter.
So is what? Strangers, mages. What else was it?
So spend this will only to play strangers, comma, mages, arts, and activate abilities of 12 protector gods. I'm assuming that last portion of that sentence, mages, arts, and activate abilities of 12 protector gods, might not be properly translated. I think there might be different meanings for a couple of the words.
Maybe it's
because I see mage arts, I think god art.
Right, exactly.
I see 12 protector gods. I think the 12 what are they called?
The 12 apostles, the demon apostles.
Is that what that was that we had in Force of Will not too long ago?
Yeah.
No, wait.
I'm pretty sure.
Was it 6? It was 6 sages.
Oh, if you're thinking of the 6 sages, but I was thinking of the 12. I don't know if they were called demon apostles, but they were Gil's apostles. And they were 12.
Okay. Well, actually, where I was going with it after I realized it's 6, not 12, never mind. It's gone. But I do think it might be God's art or something related to God's art. Maybe they're bringing back God's art in a new name. Who knows?
Good point.
Tons of speculation on it. Don't take any of this to a group somewhere. Be like, yeah, I heard them say this. It's pure theory. We're waiting for, obviously, spoilers to start. I'm assuming once we get the card that uses this mythic new keyword, it'll show the reminder text of what it does. But on promos like this, they usually don't put the reminder text on them. The 1 or 2 speculations I see. So what are you going to say?
I was going to say, I don't know if you mentioned that it also gives you J-Ruler Drain.
Oh, I didn't.
I don't know if you did. Yeah.
See, this translation is just jumbled up, so I just kind of may have skipped that. But yeah, it gives you J-Ruler Drain. Which that was flavorful,
also,
right?
It is 12 apostles. It's not like 12 demon apostles. Okay. So they're, yeah. So Athena, what's his name? There were a bunch of them. There were 12 of them, not a bunch.
Okay. Athena, didn't she have a card in the original, like back in BFA?
It wasn't Athena. It was Athena.
Oh,
it
Athena.
Was she gained counters whenever you dealt damage to yourself, and she's like a 7/7 swiftness. Yeah, I was just Google searching it.
Oh, there was 12 apostles back then.
Yes,
I just found.
I ran like an entire 12 apostles deck and stuff.
Athena was
because Gil, when he flipped, you get to search your deck for 12 apostles, or when he entered, and then when he flips, you can play a 12 apostle from your hand onto the field.
That's pretty neat.
There's quite a few. Can play it. Yeah. No, there's 12 of them.
There's more than 12 on this database.
No.
Yeah, there's 16 of them here.
You're crazy.
Anyways, it was cool. It's a Regalia. So the Regalia are back.
Yeah.
We kind of knew that. Obviously, it's not free, so it has a cost to it.
It's pseudo free. Yeah.
I was going to talk about the two speculations for Mythic and what it could do, which I think both are pretty cool. I favor one more than the other. The first one was just that you could only control one in play, period, which kind of implies that you can run 4 of them, just like any other.
And
card.
that's like the Mythic part of it,
right.
Right.
And then the other one, which you kind of stood a little bit more behind, was the fact that it's like you can only control 1 in your deck, period. Which is cool because when you look at this card, you can't tell a rarity unless you look at the border of the name and the cost. It's gold, which means it's an SR card. And so as an SR in the new sets going forward, kind of the way this last one was, we can only speculate further that you're going to have a hard time pulling all the cards you need. So if this had like the actual part where it's like you can only control 1 or have 1 in your deck, period, it helps that a little bit more. It feels less bad, I should say. Like when you open up, say, 3 or 4 boxes and you're like, I pulled either none or 1. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you get 1, you're like, I'm set. I can run this red-white deck. Let's put it together. You know. So it's kind of why I stand behind a little bit more. Who knows? That could be just way off. It could mean something completely different for that Mythic ability. So we'll have to wait and see what it does. I don't know if you have any thoughts behind that.
Yeah, so I was getting like a phone call or something, and like it was on silent, so I was just like looking at it. I feel like I like the idea more that you can have 4 in your deck, but that it's like a legendary in Magic or Planeswalker or something, where like you only have 1 on the field, because 1 in the deck seems a little like crazy to me with how like terrible that would feel to like try and get that. Like there's like at least rune cards, you always have them. We haven't had any other restricted cards like that. So I like the idea that, you can only play 1 onto the field, and you can only have 1 on the field at the same time, especially because, there's already like precedence with like other card games that do it, like Magic. And so like they, you can kind of bounce around that in their ideas and stuff. So I feel like having it just 1 in the deck would be too little, I just don't like 1-ofs anyways. So
what's your thoughts on the fact that Regalia are back? Like comparing this to early on Regalia and late on Regalia, where's the power level in this land?
This seems around where I would like it, especially if it's like a super rare and it's supposed to be, a really strong, like Regalia is supposed to be strong. I think this is a pretty decent level from what I'm seeing.
Does it not just feel like in a way like just an addition again, like just a normal addition but with the Regalia name now? Yeah,
a little bit, but I mean it's hard to capture the feel of the original Regalia. Like if anything, if this was like how would you make this feel like not an addition but a Regalia? Like it does all the Regalia things. It produces will, it gives your J ruler a special ability. I think if this, for example, if the 12 god of whatever is like your ruler, then it makes more sense because it fuels his abilities, kind of like Isis stones and stuff.
Right.
So like it works more like a Regalia that way, and then obviously like the red white I feel like is fine, even though in the past Regalia have been colorless and stuff. So that's
I was going to bring that up. Like it now has a cost. Later on, Regalia had costs, but they were void costs, like 2 of anything, 3 of anything, as well as not having an attribute assigned to them. Now these do.
I prefer it with their attribute. That way you can't like. They're obviously kind of. I feel like they're definitely taking a step back and being like, Regalia, we're pretty busted. Let's not make it free or make it available to every single J ruler, because this makes it so that you can't just stack multiple Regalia, and they don't want your J ruler to be like the center of attention like before. I'm more of a fan of this than I am of the old other Regalia stuff.
No, it's interesting. I want to see more. Obviously, I expect us to hit spoiler season sometime soon because November I think was 22nd release. 15th was pre-release, if I'm right. Which is like about a month and a half away, pretty much. So I mean, I don't know. I'm expecting to see spoilers hopefully sometime soon. Moving on to the next a little bit was that they, y'all guys didn't cover this yet, right? The starter decks at all.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if I missed this. Well, they released the artwork for the starter decks. We'll have it up here somewhere. Which that were cool. So the first takeaway everybody had was, oh, that's that two colors, that dual colors, you know, because you got white, blue, and then red, black. Which that was pretty cool.
It's a good point, because that's actually interesting that like this, you know, since this is red white, you know, who's that going to be targeting? I think that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I think. I mean, I definitely think they want to go back to two colors, seeing as what we saw in the previous set.
Yeah.
The actual like previous set. So.
How do you think they probably do that? Like, do they just release? Here's some dual stones, or is it like, hey, your ruler so and so, this produces either color, like ruler specific dual stones,
like how Sylvia was, or how Blazer was.
They had that. I don't remember.
Yeah, Blazer's stones. Blazer, he had the ability where your red stones produce black, and then Sylvia had the ability where her red stones produce green.
Well, I kind of meant more like it's a stone that says, I don't know, you can only produce a second color if your J/ruler is, you know, whatever. I can't. I'm drawing blanks on these names of these pictures I'm seeing. Faria. There we go.
Melgus, yeah.
Faria and Melgus.
Melgus or Faria. I don't know. There's a lot of ways. There's a lot of balanced ways I think they can. Like I am a fan of how they did the last set. I think, you know, maybe the will producers are a little strong. A handful of them are a little strong, but I think the idea of it is kind of cool. You know, I was never really against the way that they did dual colors in the last set. So I think, and like, I liked a lot of the ways that they've done dual colors before. Like with the stones, with the stones with the limited counters, for example. Like I probably would have toned that back even. So I feel like something that maybe comes into play tapped, or you know, their basic stones are red, and then they have, you know, mana dorks that produce black, or maybe the rulers, you know, maybe there are 4 stones that, you know, they only produce black will with Melgus, you know, black and red, and there's only 4 of them, so you know. No, there's a lot of ways that I think they can definitely make, you know, the will production, the dual colors, like more balanced. Yeah, if that's what they want to go, you know.
Just so you don't give even more fuel to, say, Divinity Rulers, since those already have. What people are concerned about is just their rune deck being super strong. How do you match the strength coming forward? Which I have a feeling Strangers is going to do something with it. We don't know too much about what Strangers are doing.
Yeah.
That was a card type revealed recently, I think, when these images were shown or something like that. That was something that exists within the game.
Right.
So
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting stuff. Like, hopefully, you know, everything is kind of balanced. You know, they're able to balance everything really well. I think I've never really had a problem with dual colors too much. You know, I like monocolor sets. I like dual color sets. I like dual color sets that are like well done, where you're not just jamming in every, you know, 2 or 3 colors and always getting those colors. You know.
Yeah, I liked dual colors, except for the parts where, like, I think it was during the Alice block more than it was later on, where it was just like, here's every single deck that exists, and there's just this core of dual color that exists in every single one. If you're not writing these at least these 2 cards in some way, whether it's like green, white, and your black decks, or they have this weird, you know, tricolor thing, or blue, and there was a core, I think, that existed of like every deck type of cards, and I think as long as we can avoid something like that, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, like they definitely relied a lot on, like, for example, the Rulers Memoria and stuff that produced every single color. So like if they just tone that down a little bit, and then make it so that, you know, like I said, I think for example, if Melgus gets his own 4 personal stones, maybe that could be enough to, you know, be fine for his red black deck.
Which there's special stones in these dual sets, or these starter decks, as well as I think some special stones within the set itself. I think the white-red Regalia might be tied to one of the characters in the playmat for pre-release, I believe it is. There's a white. There's a person who kind of gives like this white-red color aura to herself, so I think it might be her. Who knows?
How many? There's 7 kings, right? So they definitely can't, like, they're probably all in there, and they're probably all like dual colored. But do you think one of those are going to be a red white?
Who would it be though? Because obviously there's Arla, who's white, and then who else was there? That was it, right? Because there's 2 white, 1 red.
Yeah, Priscia's kind of reddish, but I don't think she would.
Yeah,
I think Sylvia's always been red green, so I think she'll be stuck in red green. I mean, not that
Sylvia
she's a 7
wasn't
king,
a king,
but
yeah,
whatever. Like I'm just like spitballing, like, who among all the old rulers?
I mean, there's also Valentina, but she's in the picture for the next cluster.
She wouldn't be red white though.
Nah.
She's.
I was going over all the
black,
kings
blue.
in my head right now.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay,
then,
I see.
Looking at that poster that was revealed and who it could be, I don't know. Oh, you know what? No, was it in the first set? She's not a 7 king, but Alice was there 2 versions, like green, blue, and a blue.
There was a green. There was a red, blue, green.
Red, blue. Okay.
It was like
green.
red, blue, and green were the 3 colors. Because I remember deep blue produced red, blue, and green.
Okay.
But I don't think. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be Alice.
Okay. Who knows?
Yeah. I was just spitballing stuff.
Who knows? Yeah.
It's all pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think so.
My thing is, like, going back to like the stones, I was thinking of like examples. Like, they shouldn't do it like the shock rocks. I don't know if that's the actual term that we ended up sticking with, but the stones that came into play.
The shipwrecks term better.
No. The stones that came into play rested unless you paid 300 life. Yeah. Like, that's not the way they need to do these dual color stones. Like, they need to do them, like, in a much more balanced way.
Yeah.
I know that's like super vague, but there's definitely good ways to do it, bad ways to do it, and then like fair ways to do it.
Well, I was thinking like the way those stones were, but like where it tied the secondary color it produced to the ruler as well as like an enter ability would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's more. I think the way I think it's definitely a little more fair.
So for everybody listening, it's again speculation of what we think could be and what we wish would to happen. Again, if you're kind of hyped on the Regalia you saw and just the fact that the starter deck have images and maybe they look cool to you, again, make sure to check out Happy Little Hug Factory, link in the description below. You can pre-order those, $50 for the actual set, and I think each of the starters go at $14-15. You can check the prices on their website just to be sure. But moving from there, again, this is a shorter podcast. What we're going to talk about next? Was it just those 2?
What kind of decks we're going to see?
Oh, that's it. Right. So, shout out to Jeremy over at Ruler School. If you guys haven't heard, which I'm sure you have, he's throwing a Force of Will as a Grand Festival or Forceful Festival. You guys can check it out. I think he has a link. I'm going to put a link in the description below. It's to a website for another gaming store, and that's who's helping run the whole event. And you guys can see about pre-registering, and I think there's 17 slots left before last I saw. And you need to pre-register to be in the event before you just go to it, so make sure you do pre-register. And this is going to be the first New Frontiers event, because everything that's happened GP-wise around the world has all been cluster only. So it's all been
or
New Valhalla.
Yeah. Or I think no, yeah. It's all been cluster.
It's just been various forms of cluster. There's been one where it's just pure cluster, and there's been one where there's a ban list on it, and the ban is usually often altar. Help me out here. Lancelot and Hanzo's Master Rune.
Oh, Sealing Scroll.
There you go. It's usually been those 3. I saw one variation where it included Layla, which I didn't think was necessary, but
I think Layla or Altar needed to go. Like, I would prefer Layla going and keep an Altar. than the Switch.
Yeah.
Like I don't think Alter needed the ban. I think Layla needed the ban. But anyways, yeah, that's not.
But so this will be the first actual New Frontiers.
Are they doing like a ban list, like custom ban list or anything?
No, just
No?
I believe what's appearing there. They are going with the ruling though on Utgarda Loki, where it says it kills the J/Resonator with its discard ability.
Yeah.
And they're also, I think, going with when the J ruler Loki does its cool little trick with the card goes from hand and it's Loki. When it dies, that card goes to graveyard and the J ruler flips back over to the ruler's side. Just to be clear on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think there's any ban lists, so that they're just going with what the company provides so far.
Okay.
Still no CR update. I know that's coming in October. This should be up on October 1st. So soon, soonish, and then in a month we'll get the new set and we'll need another CR update. But or it'd be cool if they're just like, you know what, we're gonna give it to you mid spoilers. We're gonna chunk everything together. Bam, there you go. You're good for the next 4 months.
Yeah. Except then like they would need to like the CR update would have to come out like after pre-release, because I imagine there's gonna be stuff in the next set, in those spoilers.
Well, they usually come out the week before pre-release, so
okay,
it still in a way works. Like it would be in November, but
yeah, I would definitely combine those two.
Yeah.
Those two.
More of a
if
joke.
I
was making a joke, but with how long it's taking us to get the CR update. But anyway, so speculation of what we think is actually gonna do well. We've been doing some fun games. Nothing super crazy. I've been like, oh, what would Adam do? Oh, what would Isis do? Or what would Freyla do? So, what are your theories? Freyla. Yeah, Freyla was fun.
Personally,
shout out to Ryan Lilly.
I guess I have to go first. I definitely think that the Alice Resonator, like Dark Alice Resonator, the whole oh my gosh, Yokai Festival into both those Alices, that whole nonsense is going to be, in my opinion, the best deck. That combined with the Light Palace dropping and making Alice like a 2020 or a 2,200,000 I think.
Mm-hmm. You think that'll stick? You think that's gonna happen?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter if it sticks. If if she even attacks once, you get 200,000 life.
Isn't it if anybody attacks? Or am I reading it incorrectly? I thought it buffed. I thought it buffed everybody based on the number of races you control.
I think it does.
Yeah.
You might be right. My point, I guess my point is that since she drains, she's just gonna get that health pretty much regardless.
She's a turtle too, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
So that's the tricky part. You gotta destroy the addition.
Oh yeah, no. So I think that deck is already pretty I've played versus it and I've played with it, and it's definitely really crazy. And I think there's a lot of people that could be fine tuning that deck to make it even stronger. That's my first place, guess right now. Just because I think it's a really strong, it's really fast too. It's like turn,
And what ruler was that?
Adam is who you have to play in order to get the Adam Resonator to create additions and stuff.
Yeah.
Be an addition, Magic Stone in the graveyard.
I'm gonna as much as I enjoy running Isis and Nyarlathotep with the moons and all that. I'm gonna toss up between two of them, her or machines, and I'm wondering if it's maintains efficiency to run machines with Arthur, or if people are gonna try different rulers with it instead. Because I don't ever run machines, so I don't have that same. This is why we would need Colin here for that expertise, but he'd be too. What's the word? What's he always looking for? Flavor of his ruler. He'd pick Arthur no matter what. But I'm wondering if he's ever just considered maybe Hanzo's better, maybe Loki's better, and which one of the situation he'd prefer. Because that Master Rune is solid. That Master Rune, if you're going against an Isis deck that has all bunch of moon additions and maybe 2 or 3 Nyars and 2 Nyars and a Isis out, that really stops you pretty hard. It's just was it anti matter beam, whatever it's called, and
Yeah.
you have to make a decision like,
Antimatter
what do
beam.
I want to keep, and what are they going to destroy? Instead?
It's 2 piles, right? 2?
Yeah, you make
Yeah.
2 piles.
Yeah.
One goes to the bottom of your deck.
Yeah, you know what? I could definitely switch back to machines, because now, we haven't tested we never played machines versus that whole Dark Alice combination deck.
Right.
But the cool thing about machines is that Lancelot's such a baller that he's like one of the best ways to get rid of those Alices, since he wipes all abilities first, then he destroys everything. Like that basically gets around like all the protection that I think it gets around all the protection that deck plays anyways. Like you can't, I don't think the deck really runs anything that gives it Eternal. It runs a lot of like barrier. So
Well, yeah, the barrier stuff with like Machine God, what's his name? Machina.
Deus. No, I was talking about the Dark Alice deck.
Oh, okay.
Like that doesn't have any protections against Lancelot.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
We actually recorded gameplay this weekend, and it was just Isis versus Machines. Unfortunately, Colin's camera just captured game 3. I'm not sure what happened out of three games that we played with each other. I found when playing him, though, like the issue wasn't necessarily Lancelot. It's like, cool, Lancelot entered and did something. Either I protected or I didn't. I lost my stuff. What can I do back to Colin in return? Everything I had that could hurt him on the spot because of Machina, it was just like, okay, barrier to that. Okay.
Yeah.
Barrier to that as well. It's like, there was nothing I could do. That was the hardest part. Once they had that Machina down.
Yeah. Machina
Deuce
is
Machina, as Colin calls it,
Yeah.
bothers me so much.
Yeah. he is pretty insane, and that's why I would like to kind of maybe give the edge back to machines. Now that I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, well, the strongest part about that Dark Alice deck is Alice, and and since Lancelot is able to board wipe them and destroy Alice, and the Alice player has nothing to do against Deus Ex Machina. Like, there's no way for them to remove him. Like, he's just gonna run over them. So I don't know. Yeah, like Deus Ex Machina is definitely one of the strongest. He's like easily probably as strong as Alice, just because he comes in and he's so huge, and he's got Eternal pretty much constantly, and he can like moving around the counters is super strong, because like it's like, oh, I'm gonna deal like 800 damage, and then you buff something with like plus 300, plus 3 counters. So yeah, and then he like fuels Arthur, and then Arthur, or like he fuels Lancelot off of his counters, and then like Arthur is great because you can remove counters from Arthur with Lancelot's ability to just ping anything that's coming in, and then you gain the counters at the end of the turn, or at the start of your next turn. So yeah, I just definitely think machines is pretty bonkers too. So yeah,
I think so. I think it's going to be an interesting just trifecta. I think there would be people trying to make it with Adam, Arthur, Isis, Hanzo, and possibly Loki. Like, I think that right there alone is going to take up a good chunk of, say, top 16 of the players who at the end of the day of Swiss or whatever, of how that might go. But what about black decks? Do you think those still hold viability against everything that's out there right now? Because I've noticed, like, we haven't seen the events of New Frontiers, so we've only seen the cluster ones, and they've lost, well, they also lost Alter and Layla, or Alter alone. But do you think those can still do the fun shenanigans they were doing just a few months ago?
They even had like kind of black based decks, like in the other cluster only formats too, and like Hades, you shouldn't, or Satan. No, I always get Hades mixed up. Satan is still a really like dangerous card, especially if people use that Freyla deck. Like he's a really strong turn 5 play, and being able to bring everything back onto your field, or board wiping your opponent's field, is still really good. And like the best thing is that Dark Alice is such a versatile card that a lot of people are playing her in all the black decks and all the Layla Alter decks and stuff. So
Yeah.
I definitely think that it has what it takes. I think a lot of black decks are going to be really strong.
Yeah.
Especially like Utgard Loki is crazy,
Oh no, it is. Like, I mean, we haven't played tested with black in a while, since like one of the first 2 weeks, and that was back when we were still playing Utgard Loki the old way, which was printed on the card before this, errata, which hasn't been released yet. But that's like, it's crazy because like black does have quite a bit of discard, and it has the spot removal with that, and like, was it Life-Severing Blade? I think it does have it, but I don't know if it's still in white black. I think maybe just pure black, green black, red black. Because that Fallen Angel, that's pretty good card.
Oh yeah.
Like, put stuff in the field, searches itself out, -2 life, and you're gonna maybe destroy a color fix your opponent may have.
Yeah, but I don't think people are gonna run. Like, I think they're just gonna run it just because. Like, I don't think they're gonna run red with it at all.
Yeah.
Because I would say some kind of like white black deck with with like Loki or some blue in there, just because Dark Alice, so many people are going to run her just with her color fixing ability. There's so much more that opens up too, yeah.
And like,
so she's so flexible in so many spots.
It's sorry, you got me there. It's also crazy how like consistent I was able to hit it, at least, where it's like Dark Alice, draw a card, discard Adam. Let's do this again. Draw a card, discard some other card. So I'm gonna also be really impressed if anybody shows up and like can on stream maybe, or just we hear about it, just like did the Kaguya thing, like, or Kaguya as they say it. Like, 5/7/5. I'm doing stuff or whatever it did. I think it gained flying or something.
That'd be really cool. It's she gains flying. When you attack, you untap 7. You untap 7 stones and you draw 5 cards, and then I don't think you gain 7 life, but no, it's insane. Like,
that is crazy.
Yeah.
But my advice for anybody who's listening to this, let's say you're listening to this the day it came out or the next 2 days it came out. If anything we said here swayed your judgment of what you're going to run, it's not too late to change it and play test with it if you play test on a regular basis. But if you're listening to this and you're unsure, just stick with what you've been running, because I think the main thing when you go into something is being familiar with your deck and knowing your ins and outs of when you're playing. That's so crucial. Like, you can sit there and be like a week before the event and be like, I just got word this is the top tier deck, I'm gonna switch, and you play test once during the week and you go to the event and you don't do good because you didn't know how to properly operate it. Now some people just can do it.
It's like when Colin brought Sherry to the ARG and scrubbed out, right? Do you guys remember that?
Absolutely. I'm over here like, whoo, I did the same. Except for I've been playing her the whole time.
That's different though. You weren't jumping on the bandwagon.
You
were already on the bandwagon. I definitely think it's important to like kind of choose something and just stick with it. Like Colin still, when we went to the ARG Nationals or something, like back when I got first place with my Zero Bomb deck,
Sorry guys, it's been a month since he said it. He had to bring it up again.
He like came to the event and was like, okay, I think I have the deck that I'm planning on running, and it's like, he like the night before he was like testing out like 3 different decks. It's like, no, you need to be playing those decks and getting your and understanding, like getting immersed into your deck. Which, by the way, if anybody wants to test out Fushi, I've been playing a lot of him and he's super tight. So
I think in our ring of playtesting, it's the only deck that hasn't gotten beaten.
Yeah, I attribute that more to maybe a little bit more luck, because I don't know if it could handle like some of the really it's played machines though. It's played Collins machines. It's played I think it's played a lot of the really good decks, but I don't know what it is. The deck's just so good. It's so fun to play.
But I was gonna say something. You said that distracted me from what I was gonna say. What did he run? Yeah, it was about that night. What did
he ran? I'm pretty sure he ran Mars. Pretty sure he ran Mars and red attack stuff, because this was with didn't he, because he borrowed like a red card from you. It's like a
that sounds familiar.
He borrowed something from you. I'm pretty sure he ended up running Mars.
So weird. I don't know. I remember I did Feetsing.
It
was like a stealth. It was like stuff. It was Alex Blandon's list. Was it Gwyber? I guess it was. I know it had stealth cards in it, or maybe I was going against a stealth deck, and that's how I remember the most. No. I think it was my first attempt at Turbo Feetsing, but it was before a lot of the key cards came out. By the time we went to that GP that year at Richardson, and I did better with it.
Yeah, I think they hadn't like perfected kind of the way they wanted to go with it. Mm-hmm. Like the first couple of decks were like, oh, I'm gonna play I don't even know. It was like, I'm gonna play this one cost card, I'm gonna play this one cost card, and then I'm gonna get Gwyber out. And it was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And then it started getting like, oh, I'm gonna play this card, and then I'm gonna play Adam Brawley, and then I'm gonna play like Captain Hook, and then I'm gonna play Gwyber, and then I'm like Alice's Castling for Captain Hook, and I was like, oh, that's really tight. Like
I remember
seeing like the Alice's Castling tech, and like that was like oh, that's some badass tech. Like I wasn't on top, like I wasn't with the whole Feetsing Gwyber deck list until they brought out Alice's Castling, and I was like, oh shit, Alice's Castling into Hook, that's hot. That's some good shit right there.
Yeah. Speaking of Hook, Wanderer Committee unbanned Lumia, which I thought was interesting. I definitely want to play, build some decks on that and play somebody with it. I know Sam from WLTCG. If you guys haven't seen them, check out their YouTube channel. They also do a weekly podcast. We're going to go visit him, I think, on the 12th, and I was going to bring my Wanderer decks. I know he plays Wanderer, but has nobody to play with either. So it's like, oh, we're going to do our Wanderer games.
I was just like, man, I bet you've been looking forward to playing Wanderer. Well, here's Lumia.
You cut out on me.
Enjoy that. Oh, sorry. It was a joke about you playing Lumia.
Oh, yeah.
And how much fun that will be for him.
He's going to play Reflect. He's you, man.
Reflect doesn't do anything without Change the World. This has evolved into a terrible podcast.
He's been pushing for that to be unbanned.
Well, Change the World, it doesn't... Reflect sucks without Change the World. Just put it on, like, limited. You can only run 2 Change the Worlds.
Yeah, no, anyways, we sidetracked super hard, but it was fun. So yeah,
did you want to talk about the?
Yeah, I was gonna move on to the Argent Saga thing. So that kind of wraps up Force of Will stuff. Not obviously offended if you guys who are only here for Force of Will, tune out. But so Argent Saga, they've been firing off regionals since I think last weekend, and these are kind of just smaller events held at stores. The cap for players is 64. The one we went to landed at 36 players. The one I went to, I should say, because Colin didn't get to go. He had family in town. But I went to Conroe, Texas, to go play. It was super cool. A lot of fun. A lot of cool people there. Maybe one not so cool person there. But the only issue I think we had that were hiccup-wise was with the system. I don't know the details in the system that they're running with, but Argent Saga requires you to use this thing called ERRS, or ERRES. There's 2 S's, I don't remember. It's just this tournament software where you get player IDs, so you have a player ID number, and you have this ranking system. So technically, when you go play at locals, you're supposed to use it too. Like if I go to locals on Friday and we do a tournament, you use it because it reflects all your wins and losses in the system that you've ever had, and it ranks you as a player amongst all the players who are in the system. The tournament software within it is not so great. We had some issues. There was one round where I think a player's information was incorrect, like on their wins and losses from the previous rounds, and that was a whole thing. We had to go to lunch because they were trying to resolve that. And then it's supposed to be a 6-round event based on the number of players. The tournament was like, it paired people for round 6, but there's some people who were paired twice against other people. And there's 3 buys in that final round. 3 of us had buys. And then they looked at the system to see what was going on. And they're like, oh, it pseudo-paired us because technically it just ended the tournament at 5 rounds. That was it. It was like tournament's over. That's it. It was so janky. It was so weird.
That sounds really interesting, especially with the other kerfuffle you were telling me about. I don't know if you want to get into that. That's kind
of. Which one was that?
Well, no, the whole dude who was not cool.
Yeah. That one was interesting, and I don't know if they ever took action on that, and the player is banned. But that was something that the the TOs. There's two tournament organizers there. One for another city, and I won't say so, and then one for the current city. And they were pushing to have the player banned because he was interesting. So in round 1, he apparently was rule sharking his opponent over and over again, calling judge over for unnecessary calls. The other guy, the not jerk guy, was said, you don't have to be such a dick about this. And then the jerk guy was like, Judge, my opponent called me a dick. I have 4 witnesses all around me right now who saw it happen. I don't know what happened after that, but I know that when that round ended and they go to the next round, they did like a announcement, hey guys, let's be nice. Let's not get any name calling. Let's not do this. Let's not do that. And at the end of the night, the guy had other issues. Apparently he cut somebody off to go into the restroom or was about to, and then just told them to go F themselves when they took their rightful turn to the restroom. He didn't make the top 50%. Top 50% gets a promo, but he argued his way into getting a promo because he, based on the round 6 pairings, which a round 6 didn't exist, he was at table 9. Table 9 was in the top 50%. And he says based on that, he should have gotten a promo. And it was really awkward. It was one of those situations where I was like, when people are getting mad at each other and something could happen, you kind of don't want to be in that area. Not that he was going to do anything, obviously, but the store owner ended up pulling a promo from her own personal stash because they got promos for being judges, and it was like, here, if this makes you shut up, essentially, just take the promo and leave. But
yeah, that's not a good way to. That's you can't be that guy.
Nah,
that's super disruptive, disrespectful.
Yeah, it was very mean, very awkward. But I didn't get to go to San Antonio. Colin was too sick, and he was the one. He was traveling with me, and I was in Temple with him. So as a result, I didn't get to go. I did pre-register for it, but I missed out on it. I think they got about 30 players, so I got to miss out on that. That's really
the way he said that was so defeatist. So I got to miss out on that.
Well, I was like looking at it. I'm like, there's not many regionals in September because it started so late. So like this solo mat that everybody is trying to or getting as participation is like probably gonna be the lowest number play mat given out compared to the other months, which are going for full months. But October has a Luna play mat, and I want that cat. So much. It's weird. The cat just looks so silly on that playmat that I just really want it. So I'm definitely going to an October event. It was really it. It was a regionals. It was a lot of fun to get to go to it. A lot of our player base in Austin just plays Argent Saga now, so that's kind of what we switched to. I still because time wise I don't even get time to play Argent Saga. That's why I did so bad. I was bottom 3 tables the entire time. The fight lasts 3 rounds. But it's just I don't get to play many card games. Just this past 3 months has been super busy. We barely get time to record content, which to me is more important than anything else. Because this is it's a lot of fun. We get to interact with everybody. But I'm hoping to get Forceful fired back up again because I miss playing that one more than anything. But,
Did you enjoy playing in the tournament? Like was Argent Saga fun?
Yeah, no, it's fun. They from the last time I talked about it, there was an issue with Ergon, which is one of the champions. They did a temporary suspension on him until set 2 comes out, and which they said more things would make sense as to why he was designed the way he was designed, and other things can now compete with him, or I should say interact better with him. He was essentially a champion who on command would tap, and when you rested him, mills 2 cards off the top of your deck, So you're constantly feeding your graveyard, and then you would never deck out because his secondary ability was you pay 1 and tap him and send a card from graveyard to the top of your deck. And that's kind of where the loop existed, where he would never deck out. So a deck that existed to deck other people out wouldn't be able to deck him out. There's other stuff that he was doing. I'm not touching up on all the bases. I know Josh Patton listens to this as well, and he chimed in last time. But they put him on temporary suspension, but because of that, it was a lot of cool decks floating around. Top 8, I think, was pretty diverse compared to what top 8s were in the past, where it was just Hoennas and Urgons. They had Hoenna Fizzies. I think one Dragonholt made it in top 8. And the one that won, I think it was the most obscure one. That's actually one of our players in Austin. I forget what he ran. He ran probably the most craziest thing that you could run and did really good with it. And then he gave the deck to somebody else to run in San Antonio because he had to do pre-release duties in Austin for Mothership. And that person got top 8 with his deck and earned an invite. So I think that's like top 3 at least with that deck. So
that's some credit right there.
Yeah, he did a deck profile. You can find that Jacob Sconsi. I think we'll get him on here as well because he wanted to update his deck and do another video. So maybe I can swoop in and be like, hey, come do your video with us, and we'll record him soon maybe. Archer Saga is interesting. It's definitely not Force of Will, but it's something to play with for now since a lot of the players are doing that over here. It's also cool to just go, I guess, to locals, and it's like, I just randomly came today because I felt like coming, and was 22 people here. All right, I guess I'll play in this tournament. So yeah, it's definitely a change. I'm not giving up on Force Will, obviously. I'm still trying for that.
But it's always nice to have like a community that is like you can just walk into a store and have stuff going on. Yeah, and jam some games with anybody.
Yeah, and I know at least Austin, we have a lot of cool players playing it, so a lot of chill people. Very competitive people too. I think Jacob's taken the title of best player in Texas since he got top 32. I think he played like 17th, 18th place at the championship, and then he won this regional. So he's claiming the title of best player in Texas. If you want to contest that, come play him. Yeah, I think that's about it. We'll wrap it up here.
It actually ended up being kind of a full-length podcast.
It did. I was surprised.
Hope you guys enjoyed that.
Hope I didn't bore you too much with the Archer Saga stuff. I had told Colin that because I was like, I won't talk about this stuff for a week because we're not doing a podcast because his family's in town. And I was like, I'm going to lose all the steam of like the excitement of having been at the event, then talk about it, which I could feel the staleness as I said it. I was way more pumped when this stuff was happening. I was more like just trying to recall what actually happened this time around. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys soon.